Well, here we are. Player empowerment lovers rejoice. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving are suiting up tonight for the first time officially in an NBA game as Brooklyn Nets. Let's deep dive this team that I think has as good of a chance as anybody to win the Eastern Conference, maybe the NBA championship. Make sure you follow Scout with Bryan. Let's go right into what the Nets have this year. First of all, a first-time head coach, Steve Nash, proving to be a little tech savvy too. Look at him drawing up his after timeout plays on an iPad. Pretty cool. Only a few guys in the league do that. But obviously, welcome to the NBA, Steve Nash. Now go coach the increasingly mercurial, sorry, I'm not pronouncing that right, Kyrie Irving. And you also have Mike D'Antoni, your old head coach, sitting next to you. Jock Vaughn, the interim coach from last year. Ime Udoka. Tiago Splitter, look at him behind the bench with an iPad. Somewhere back here, Marty Stoudemire's running around as a player development assistant as well. But yeah, interesting challenge certainly for a first-time head coach. So unfortunately, we only had 2 preseason games to evaluate them by somehow. I don't know how some teams played 4 and the Nets got 2. But anyway, let's show you what I saw through 2 games. First of all, the potential, obviously, to be a very fun up-tempo game. They got to take away dunks, but it is pretty exciting when you can have Kyrie Irving headman the ball full court to Kevin Durant for a finish. That's pretty nice and going to be a fun thing to watch. Not fun to watch is this could be their undoing. Things like this, they just need to communicate. They need to be a basketball team. This is the thing that they can't just go out there and play pickup. They need to be on a string. They need to be locked in. They need to be disciplined, which is not what Mike D'Antoni's teams are notorious for. We'll see if Steve Nash's teams are different. Even though he missed that shot, it was a wide open look that you can't have. We'll also see some of that zone, which you probably remember from the playoffs. They were pretty good playing zone defense. It looks like Nash is bringing back a little bit of that 2-3 matchup type as Kevin Durant gets the block from the corner. At point guard, starting is a guy named Kyrie Irving. Perhaps you've heard of him. When he's not wandering around the arena burning sage or spouting cuckoo conspiracy theories, he's pretty damn good. His mentality, as he's said, is that nobody in the world can guard me one-on-one, and he's basically right. I mean, he has obviously one of the best handles in the history of basketball. He gets to his spot anywhere on the court and elevates and shoots over you, and even if he misses shots, rarely, DeAndre Jordan will be around there for tip-outs, which is what he does, and Kyrie will knock down the second chance. He'll face you up and jab you. He's got old school triple threat game. This was a nice little set. Was a little flex going on the strong side, and then Joe Harris sets a little pinch flare screen for Kyrie. Good to see him having a little movement, because that's been the knock on him in his career. He doesn't really play within the context of an offense. Boston, I think, kind of grew tired of. They just stopped running plays with Kyrie, and everybody else just stood around and watched him do his thing. And again, he's pretty damn good there, but I think the challenge is, again, getting him to buy into more of a team system, more of these pick and rolls, involving his teammates a little bit more, because nobody wants to just sit around and watch one guy dribble and jab and play all day, as good as he is. And he'll certainly have opportunities to do that. It's certainly pretty killer late game that you could throw the ball to this guy at the elbow and he can jab you and step back and hit unbelievable shots. And even though he's talking about post touches and things, people are reading too much into that. He's just talking about things like this, where pistol action, he ends up slipping it, catching the ball down on the post, hitting this little fadeaway shot and the foul. He is obviously unbelievably gifted as a basketball player. So if they can keep his head on straight, if they can keep his mood relatively positive, if they can get along, then absolutely Kyrie Irving should be one of the best players in the game. But your prediction is as good as mine, whether he's able to coexist. But once again, you see he has pretty much every offensive skill. Jab again, behind the back, floater. There's nothing really he can't do on that end. Joe Harris is the three-point sharpshooter. You might not know, since the 2017 season, he actually leads the NBA in three-point percentage, 44% from three. He is a specialist at the highest level, off of movement, off of little pinch screens, which again, they've been doing a lot of this stuff. That's an interesting wrinkle that didn't see a ton of traditionally out of D'Antoni type teams. Here he is off a little pin down, obviously. He can shoot the crap out of the ball off of movement, a little even sidestep three. He has become a very, very special basketball player. Catch and shoot off the movement, occasional cuts in there. Competent defender, nothing to write home about, but that's pretty much what he does. Kevin Durant, first of all, just want to say great to see him back on the basketball court. His first game in like 560 days will be tonight. And yeah, like Kyrie, I mean, he is a special specimen. Once again, there is nothing he can't do, whether it be the hezzy pull-up three in transition, which he shoots at an unbelievably high level, or post-ups just facing you up and shooting over you. The guy just has everything you could imagine offensively. Little Dirk-type move in the paint. Rip through drives. This was his first move of the preseason, which was good to see. Rip through again. There's nobody better. Quickly getting to the rim off one dribble. This was a kind of interesting new concept. I'm not sure if there's something they'll do consistently, but it was like a decoy Kyrie pick and roll to hit Harris. Kyrie's going to cut to the block, and then they just quickly skip the ball across court to KD. I think what they were trying to get is Marcus Smart to come in maybe and think he had to tag Kyrie, which he didn't even do, but the play still worked as KD's going to quick rip through two dribbles and explode at the rim for a dunk. Obviously, having a 7-footer that can play out of pick and rolls and shoot from 40 feet and also hezzy and drive to the rim with the best of them and explode and finish. Yeah, he's pretty freaking good in case you forgot. He can also obviously make plays for his teammates out of the pick and roll. A little more of a team-oriented guy, traditionally speaking, than Kyrie has been. He'll also blocks a lot of shots at the rim, play some small ball five for them certainly. He's certainly played some small ball five even for Golden State in the past, so too much is being made of that. He certainly can do it. He'll also step in, take some charges. This was good to see, taking it right on the chest. Even in the preseason, you got to take some hits, show your body you can do it again, and he certainly can. I said he'd play out of some pick and rolls. DeAndre Jordan will be the five-man pick and roll partner, the starting five to start the season. You might think DeAndre Jordan, horrible free throw shooter, but he was actually 68% the last couple seasons, 70% the season before, so that seems to have been figured out. Always the potential that he could dip back down, but he has really fixed his free throws. Good for him. He's a more capable passer from the top than you would imagine. This was a nice little counter on the delay set with Kyrie back cutting. Good luck playing a Kyrie Durant split game. He'll protect the rim, obviously, with some blocks. Spencer Dinwiddie, as far as the fifth starter, your guess is as good as mine. Spencer Dinwiddie is certainly an option, and I think he has to make the biggest adjustment of anybody on his team. Listen to this. His Brooklyn points per game his 4 years there have gone from 7 to 13 to 17 to 21. So he has exploded offensively his 4 years there. Now, how is he going to handle being asked to maybe come off the bench, maybe be the fourth option offensively? That is a big adjustment level. He's also very, very used to and very good with playing with the ball in his hands. But now, obviously, with Kyrie and KD dominating the ball a whole lot, he's going to have to make the most of his rare times with the ball in his hands, which he does well, 6 to 7 assists per game usually. But can he play off the ball? 31% from three last season, 33% the couple years before. He looked like he really struggled kind of finding exactly what his role is going to be in the preseason. Again, his game is more driving to the basket, getting in the paint, making plays for guys there. It'll be very interesting to see if he can adjust to playing more off the ball and to potentially, being a guy in his fifth season with the team who has a scoring average dip significantly. That's not an easy thing for the ego, as we saw with some guys in Boston. Caris LeVert exploded in the bubble. 34% career from three, 25, 5, and 5 he averaged in the bubble, was absolutely lights out and looked like he was picking up where he left off in the preseason. He is a driver first, slasher first, using his incredible quick first step great finishing ability to lift up over you and just finish. Great footwork in the paint. He kind of reminds me the most of what Tatum and Jalen went through. Like Dinwiddie, he's going to have to sacrifice a lot. And, he's gifted enough, in my opinion, to be kind of the second best player on a good team, really good team potentially. And now he's maybe a bench player, maybe the fifth starter. Again, certainly going to have to sacrifice, but when he gets to his spots in the mid-range on that short 7-8 feet pull-up, that's where he's at his best. He's got a little DeMar DeRozan type to his game. Seems like a lot of it's kind of styled after him. If you watch, certainly a lot of resemblances in how they play out of the pick and roll. He's also the capability to be one of the better defenders on the team when he's locked in, which is not always, but here he does a great job chasing off the pin down, staying into the body, but then falls asleep for a second, ends up switching onto Teague, nice job, and then knocks the ball away. So certainly could make a big contribution there. Landry Shaman, a little bit like Joe Harris. He is a three-point specialist, 40% career out there. That's pretty much what he does. Here's a little 21 keep action, little D'Antoni pistol set. Again, you will find him on the perimeter. A little interesting that they got him, given how many similarities there are to Harris, quite frankly. But I guess he does give them continuity in that he can come off the bench for Harris and allow them to play basically the same way. Taurean Prince shot 34% from three last season, so he's never really been super consistent there. Looked really good shooting it in the preseason. If he can just catch and shoot, he's pretty good. I think the issue comes in when he tries to do a little more than that. Catch and shoot the ball and forget all these side steps, step backs. This team doesn't need you to shoot those. This team needs you to play great defense, which he certainly has not done a whole bunch of in the past, and make your wide open threes. Oh, and also you're going to have to sacrifice maybe 10 minutes a game from last season and play 15 or 20 a game now. Can he handle that? Again, tough for a young player with some ego. Jarrett Allen will be most likely the backup five who might end up playing more than DeAndre. You're going to find him, if he plays more, it'll certainly be because he's hustling his rear off and making an impact on the offensive glass. That is where he's going to get his junk points, through pick and rolls, through offensive rebounds. Something to keep an eye on. His free throws, opposite of Jordan, have gone down 78, 71, 63% last year. Needs to knock those down consistently, especially late game, if he wants to be on the floor in those situations. Jeff Green, the 34-year-old ageless wonder, has morphed into this super small ball bench stretch five late in his career, and he's been a very good three-point shooter. He's got a little mid-post type game, and he also can mix in some rolls and freakishly finish shockingly athletically for a guy at his age. If you're wondering where the bench other guys are, they got TLC, Tyler Johnson, Kuruc, Nick Claxton. I'll tell you what, they only played 2 preseason games, so I didn't even have enough clips to put together. But I will do on patreon.com/ScoutWithBryan a bonus video after their first couple games of the regular season, breaking down those guys and what else I see from the new look Nets. Thanks for watching. Make sure you thumb up, hit that subscribe button, and check out the whole preseason preview series.